Hello students. Today let's discuss the conceptual problems regarding to chapter transfer of heat. And there first of all let's see again what is transfer of heat. As the first conceptual problem, that is what is the actually how can you distinguish the conduction process, the convection process and radiation process to either. So, in the case of convection process or conduction process or radiation process, the common difference is also the need of medium and also in the way in which heat is transferred to the system. So here, as we are talking about the transfer of heat, so first process, that is the conduction process. In case of conduction process, you know already that so many numbers of atoms, they are arranged in an array, and if we transfer heat to the first molecule, then it starts to vibrate, it starts to oscillate, and due to oscillation it will collide to the second molecule and it will transfer its energy after the collision there. So in this way, one by one, every system comes into oscillation and it transfer heats through the collision to each other, and ultimately the heat transferred to the last end there. So in this way, in another way you can understand it. Suppose in a row 10 number of students that are sitting, and a ball that is in the hand of first boy, then he started to pass the ball to his adjacent boy, and one by one they are transferring the ball, and ultimately you can see that the ball can be reached to the 10th student. Means in which way we are seeing that every particle of the medium that are taking part in the oscillation, that are taking part in the transfer of heat. So it means that for conduction process, first of all the need that is here, that is the presence of the medium. Without medium, particle heat cannot be, or conduction process cannot be possible there. So in case of conduction, a number of particles that are taking part in it, and they transfer its the energy that they are carrying through the collision to other molecules, and ultimately in the way heat reaches to the last end. In second process, convection process, know that if for example, as we have taken the example of 10 students that are sitting in a row, and if first student that just stand up, and after the standing it goes to the last student and give the ball to the last student, and again comes back to its original position. So in that way you are seeing that the another medium particles that are not affecting in this way, but still the first medium particle or first molecule that is taking energy as a ball, and after taking its energy is going to the last end. So in this way continuously energy earns every particle that are taking energy and they are leaving their position, taking energy and they are leaving this position. So such types of process, you know that in the liquid, as you have seen, like while cooking rice and other things, as whole of the rice can be cooked easily without means at one time whole of the rice can be cooked. The reason is that the water molecules that are taking heat from the bottom, they are taking heat and they are leaving its position, they are going to upper side. Again in this way all of the water get boiled there, and due to that rice can cook easily. So this is the process in which there is no transfer of heat to the adjacent molecule, but still the molecule is taking energy and leaving its position. So in this way, this is the convection process. In this way also we need the molecules or medium here, but still that medium is not taking part in the transfer of it directly. They are taking energy, they are leaving their position. In last condition, that is the radiation. So in this condition, if suppose that first student without leaving its position through the ball, and last student catches it directly, so it means that no of the particles that are leaving its position, they are still in their own same position. So in this way, in case of radiation process, no medium particle is needed for the transfer of heat. Heat can be transferred from one place to another place directly without any medium. So for the radiation, medium is not necessary there, as heat can be transferred easily from one position to another. So I think these three processes that are clear. And let's see some of the conceptual problems based on these transfer of heat. So the first question that is related to the conduction of heat, that is what are the basic requirements of cooking materials with respect to specific heat, thermal conductivity and coefficient of expansion. So we have three things here, that is given: specific heat, thermal conductivity and coefficient of expansion. So in cooking material, what are the conditions that we are needed for these types of things? So first thing is that as you know that for cooking material, that material is more suitable whose conductivity can be greater, so that we can, if we are supplying heat to it, it can easily absorb that heat. So simple first of things, the specific heat, as you know that specific heat you can define is heat required to reach the temperature by 1 degree Celsius of a certain amount of water or substance, means a fixed amount, just 1 kg substance or 1 gram substance, that is known as specific heat. So if greater heat will be needed to change the temperature by 1 degree Celsius, it means that specific heat will be large for that, and also a large heat that will be required for change in temperature for cooking purpose. So I think the greater specific heat obviously that is not suitable for our cooking material. Reason is that if greater specific heat will be of cooking material have, then definitely they will need a large amount of heat to change its temperature. So easily first thing is that for cooking wares we know or we need always small specific heat material. Second thing that is thermal conductivity. So thermal conductivity is defined as the ability to conduct, simple. So obviously greater will be the thermal conductivity, greater will be the ability to conduct, greater will be the conduction, greater will be the transfer of heat, and in less time we can cook other things. So in that way the material which have greater thermal conductivity, that is more better for the cooking material. Third thing is that coefficient of expansion. So coefficient of expansion, you know that it means that we have three types of expansion: linear expansion, volume expansion, surface expansion. So if heat is transferred to any system or temperature is changing, it means that you know that system will expand or linearly, or there will be change in surface, there will be change in volume. So according to that, if there will be continually change in surface volume or linear length, then definitely the wares that we are using, that will be distorted. So in that case we need a material that has low coefficient of expansion, that are more suitable for us here to make them. So I think now you can understand easily in this way which types of things you are needed. That depends on your purpose, that for which you are using it. So for our purpose it is very good that we are taking low specific heat material, we are taking high thermal conductivity material, we are taking low expansion of heat material. So next question is that here, stainless steel cooking pans are preferred with extra copper bottom. As you have seen already that if you are using stainless steel pans, then there is a addition of copper bottom with it. Reason is that as I told you, in the cooking ware we are needed such types of material for which thermal conductivity should be greater. So as the thermal conductivity of steel is not greater, is not very good, so to provide it a good thermal conductivity, we are using copper bottom with it. So as you know that copper is good conductor of heat, so we can use it here for the providation of much more heat to the system. So that's why to increase the thermal conductivity we are using that. Next question is that a cloudy night, you can see that that is that we are feeling hotter than the clear sky. So as a reason, you know that if there are clouds, and first of all, the reason behind the heating of earth, that is the radiations that are coming out from the sun to our earth. And here you know that atmosphere is present surrounding to us. There are number of gases are here, and these gases absorb some of the heats from there. Most of the infrared radiations they transfer there, but still some of the radiations they are absorbing. And after that, continually in daytime, heat is absorbed by the earth's surface, and in night when there is no heat is providing to the surface, heat is started to radiate to outer space, atmosphere again. So yes, if there is clear sky, then obviously all of the heat will be radiated, then we will feel that some of the cold weather, in comparison to if there is cloudy weather. The reason, if there is cloudy weather, there are clouds present everywhere, then that cloud will again reflect back the heat that are radiating from the earth's surface. So that's why in cloudy season we are feeling a lot of weather hotter than the clear sky. So as these are one by one the things that we are observing in our daily life, that you can explain here. Whenever there is the transfer of heat is taking place, three systems are responsible there, as conduction, convection and radiation. So based on their property you can understand that easily, and also you can understand here which of the materials are better for the heat conduction, which of the materials are just behaving like the insulator for the heat conduction, and so on. So as the transfer of heat helps us to design the insulating material to conducting material, so that we can use it at different places there. So as like you have seen or you are using thermosteel bottles, so in that case as if they, it were made up of conducting material, then that time obviously the boiled thing that you have just kept inside it, then that its heat will be radiated to outside, and after some time the water becomes, or whatever you have just taken, that becomes cool there. So in this way, to prevent it cooling, we are using as an insulator some of the things. Means the conduction of heat helps us to know which of the material that we have to use. So let's see some of the other examples here. So next question is that why do electrons in insulators not contribute to its conductivity? So as you know that for the conduction there is the need of free electrons there, which can conduct, which can carry the heat that we are providing to the system. So as in insulators there is no free electrons, or very less number of free electrons are there, so that's why they are not showing the conduction property. But in conductor, as there are a bunch of large number of free electrons we have, so that's why there the heat conduction that is taking place there. Next thing is that which is the fastest way for the transmission of heat. So as we know that transmission of heat we can do by three process, like conduction process, radiation process, convection process. So as in conduction and convection process we are needing medium for the propagation of heat or for the transfer of heat, but in case of radiation we don't need any types of medium, and there are a number of things in the medium like viscosity, friction and other things that can be there, so we don't have to do any work against it. So in the case of radiation, obviously heat can be transferred in the fastest way. So that's why, as you have seen, that the electromagnetic radiations that are reaching to us, they are fastest in the universe. Means the fastest light, fastest radiations that we have, that are for the electromagnetic radiation, as they don't need any types of medium. But if you will see the medium waves, then in that case if they are carrying energy with it, their speed is very low. Like if you are talking about the sound energy, suppose that, so sound energy, sound is also carrying energy with it. In that case it needed medium, and also it is doing work against the friction and viscosity of the medium. In that case its energy get lost, and also its velocity is not as greater as we are getting for the electromagnetic radiation there. Next thing is that as air is a bad conductor of heat, why do we not feel warm without clothes? So as reason is that first of all our body is behaving just like the insulator, and also there is no heat transfer is taking place to our body. Secondary thing is that without clothes air carries away heat from our body due to convection, hence we feel the uh, cold that time. So as in the case of if there will be the conduction process, heat will be transferred from one point to another point, then that time we will feel some of the such types of warmness. But as from our body heat is taken in the form of convection, as there is we are sweating that time, and that time water is there. So in that case you know that molecules that are just behaving like the uh, or warmer air is there, then that due to that warmer air heat is transferred to the uh, what speed, then that time obviously the convection process will take place and heat can be taken away from our body easily. So that's why we are feeling cold after sweating every time, and even without clothing we are feeling cold that time. So the next problem that is related to Newton's law of cooling and Wien's displacement law, as we have just discussed already in case of black body radiation. So as in case of black body radiation we are talking about the absorption of radiation through the surface and even emission of radiations from the surface that time. So first question is that we have, is it necessary that all black colored object should be considered black body? So like as its name is given to the black body radiation, so sometimes some of the people can think that all the black colored bodies that are perfectly black body, or they can even absorb heat in more clear way, they can radiate heat in more greater way. So it is not necessary that all black colored bodies can be perfectly black body. As if suppose that you have any black surface and it is highly polished, so in case of highly polished surface, obviously all of the heat that will be reflected from there due to polished surface, no of the heat will be absorbed by it. So it is not the concept of black body radiation. As the ideal black body radiation or black body radiation is that which surface can absorb most of the heat that is incident on it, and even it can emit most of the heat that it has absorbed there. So such types of bodies are called black body. So it is not necessary always that all black bodies are perfectly black. Even sometimes the bodies that are not black, then they can even also be the perfectly black body, like sun. You know that sun is hotter surface sphere. In that case as sun is not black body, but still it is behaving just like the perfectly black body there. So don't think that always all of the black colors that can be the perfectly black body. If some of the black colors cannot be the perfect black body. Next question is that if you have seen some of the animals that can curl into the ball when they feel very cold. So some of the insects that you have seen, they curl, or animals curl themselves when they are feeling cold. So reason is that as you know that the heat radiated is directly proportional to the surface area of the system. So greater will be the surface area, obviously greater will be the heat radiated by the system. So if they will animals will curl their body, then that time they can reduce their surface area, and if surface area will be decreases, then obviously due to decreased in surface area, the heat lost there or heat radiated by their body, that will be that will decrease also, and they will feel somewhat hotter than the before they will not curl. So to keep them warm, they are doing such kinds of things. They are just curling their body and they are converting them into the ball. So I think students, one by one, as we are discussing about the radiation process, most of all here we are talking about only three process. conduction, convection, radiation. So in all the process you can understand easily which kinds of means which of the things that can affect them and their transfer. So students, next problem that we will discuss here, that is based on, as when we were discussing about the Newton's law of cooling and other factor. So here next question is that is the good reflector is good emitter or not, or if they are not good emitter, then what is the reason why they are not the good emitter as they are good reflector of light. So as you know that whenever radiation falls on the surface, if it is absorbed there, then after absorption, if the surface are good emitter, then or good absorber, then after absorption of that radiation they start to radiate that, like our earth surface that absorbs most of the radiation that is incident on it, and after incidence in night they start to radiate that whole of the energy as they have just absorbed there. But if we are talking about the concept of reflectors, so if most of the light they have reflected there, then that time they haven't even stored or absorbed light there, so or radiation there, because if they are good reflector, suppose that if 100% light that is incident, then 90% of light if they are reflecting, only 10% they are absorbing, and in that section if some of the radiation will be used in system, then very few amount of radiation they will emit there. So that's why obviously good reflectors cannot be good emitters ever. Yeah, but good absorber, if we will talk about the good absorbers of radiation, then obviously by the Kirchhoff's law he has proved that good absorbers are good emitters also. If they can absorb amount of radiation in good way, then they can also radiate that. So that's why whenever we are using black body in our daily life for the absorption of heat, then after absorption we just want to trap that radiation. Otherwise you know that if good absorber or good emitters, then it will just emit back light, that radiation, and we will not get anything. So while using solar cookers and while using black box or BT, whatever we are using, so we just made whole of the surface or from such types of material so that it can absorb most of the radiation that is incident on it, but still after incidence it can absorb it, and we can just provide such types of systems so that it can retain that heat. So because if you will not provide such types of system, then obviously after some time it will start to reflect or just emit whole of the radiation that it has absorbed here. So I think first thing that is clear, good absorbers are good emitters. Secondly thing, good reflectors cannot be good emitters, because if they are reflecting all of the lights, then obviously they will not absorb anything, and if they are not absorbing, then you can easily say that they are not good emitter of the radiations there. So in this way, students, here one by one, as we are talking about the conceptual problems and some of the basic problems that you have to understand here, like suppose if you have some question for thermal conductivity. So you know that as I told you that thermal conductivity is the ability to conduct the radiation or heat, whatever we are talking about. So it means that the material which is in the greater way able to conduct the heat or supply the heat to the system, that is better in thermal conductivity. And also you know that conductivity, you can define it easily, the availability of the charge carriers in our systems. Greater will be the charge carriers, or greater will be the carriers available to carry that heat or energy that we are providing, greater will be their conduction process that will be taking place there. So as you know already that metals are good conductors for even electricity and also for the thermal conduction. Reason is that in metals a large number of free electrons are there, and if we are providing heat to that particular metal, then that electrons carries energy with them, and in that way the energy transfer and conduction process, that is very easy in the case of metals. So whenever we have to absorb some, or we have to use any system in which we want that a large amount of heat we can absorb, then or we can get, then in that system we always want to just use the metallic bottom or metallic coating on this. Like if we are using stainless steel cooking wares, then in the stainless steel cooking wares, as it is not very good conductor of heat, then that time if we are providing heat, then obviously it will consume more heat, more fuel that we are providing to it. So that time obviously that will not be good for us. So to make it good, we are using the stainless steel. I am talking about, student, not for the steel. So in case of stainless steel, we are just coating it by some of the metallic layer, like basically we are using copper there. So and also, if one more question is that what is the relationship of thermal conductivity with temperature? So as this question you can understand easily by kinetic theory of gases. As if temperature is increases, the temperature is increasing, then obviously with increasing temperature there will be increasing kinetic energy. Kinetic interpretation of gases, you know that, or whatever matter you have. If temperature is increasing, then obviously the intermolecular attraction forces that will reduce, particle will be free to move or oscillate, then automatically you can say that velocity is increasing, kinetic energy is increasing there. And also if kinetic energy is increasing, then the particles or the carriers that are present in the system, that will carry more amount of heat or energy with them, and very frequently they will carry it. Then definitely you can say that with increasing temperature, thermal conductivity of the material or system, that is increasing. So it is very easy to do the conduction process in the case of gaseous system. Means easily actually conduction is just depending on the condition of the material or medium there. So I think the reason, first of all, that is clear. And also secondary thing is that if we will increase a very large amount of current, then it shows inverse relationship also. So as if temperature will increase, actually if we will talk about the best conductor, then in that case its conductivity decreases exactly because the resistivity that increases there. Reason is that in good conductors, you know that already there are a large number of charge carriers, large number of carriers of energy carrying, they are just available already. And if we are providing heat to the system or temperature, we are increasing the temperature, in that case particle will get more amount of energy and they will increase their velocity. So if their velocity will be increased, then they will start to collide with each other. In that case, if they are carrying some of the energy, that will be lost there due to their intercollision, due to their interference. So that time you can say that the resistance between the carriers, that is increasing there. So conductivity decreases. But still, if you don't have the very good conductor, means you have some small amount or a small amount of charge carriers you have. In that case, if temperature, you are increasing the temperature, then first the conductivity increases. Reason is that there is only a small amount of carriers that are available for the conduction. Then first of all, system just try to produce a large number of charge carriers, and obviously that the energy that you are supplying to the system through the increase in temperature, they will use that energy in two ways. First of all, to break their covalent bonds to produce more charge carriers, and also to increase their kinetic energy. But one time if you are continuously increasing the temperature, then a situation will occur. That time the conductor that you are using, that will convert into good conductor. It means that there will be a large number of charge carriers available in the system, and if large number of charge carriers are there, we are continually increasing the temperature, then again the same condition as the conductor will be followed here, means the charge carrier will start to collide with each other due to increase in their kinetic energy, and finally due to their collision, the interference will be generated, the resistance will be generated there, and obviously the thermal conductivity will decrease from there. So that case, I think that is clear. Simple with increase in temperature in very good, in you can say that in good conductors or best conductors, in that case obviously, or if you have the conductor, then actually its conductivity decreases with increase in just temperature. And if we are talking about some other types of such types of conductor in which first of all not a large amount of charge carriers are there, some small amount of charge carriers we have, then first of all its conductivity increases. After some time its conductivity starts to decrease whenever there are large number of charge carriers were produced in the system. So I think these dependency and whatever the questions that we have discussed, that is clear. So in this chapter, students, some of the topics and its conceptual problems, that is very important, like the conceptual problems related to conduction, convection and radiations, their dependency, their the factors that can affect them. If medium is present, then what will be the effect? If it is not present, if we are changing the medium, what will be effect there? So such types of condition you have to understand, you have to think about that also. And a large number of systems that here, and obviously we are surrounded by air and other so many things, we are using heat in our daily life every day for cooking and other things. Then we are using just a large number of concepts of physics here, transfer of heats and other phenomena that we are using in all the types of states like solid, liquid and gas. So you have to just put your mind in that section, you have to understand it. And later I think Newton's law of cooling and Kirchhoff's law of black body radiation, that is also clear. So black body radiation is actually a certain branch of radiation, you can say that, where we are studying the effect, the concept and the factors related to the radiations there. Means some of the surfaces can absorb the radiation, some of the surfaces can emit the radiation, some of the surfaces can reflect the radiations. So there are a number of properties that surfaces are showing, and according to that property, how can you use it in your daily life? Like good reflectors, if you want to reflect all of the heat that is incidenting on a surface, and you just want to prevent anything in cold places, that time reflectors can help you a lot there. And if you want to keep warm to some of the places, that time absorbers can help you a lot. So in that case, even global warming conditions that we are facing, we can understand that also. So global warming is just like the case as I told you here. If radiation is coming from the sun, our earth surface that is absorbing it, and some of the mostly actually most of the infrared radiations that are reflected by the outer atmosphere, but some of the infrared radiations that are absorbed by the pollutants that are present in our air or atmosphere. Like you know that if the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, such types of gases, their increases in our system, in our air, then that time they just absorb some of the infrared radiations, and infrared radiation keeps the used to warm the system. So in this way, continually, if pollution is increasing, then our earth is going to get warmer and warmer. Means because the radiations they are absorbing, but they are not emitting that radiations, they are not good emitters, they are only good absorbers, and due to that they are just after absorption they just send it to earth again, and means that radiations continually they are getting from the sun, but they are still, that radiation is present on our earth, they are not emitting that to the outer surface. So earth is going to get warmer day by day. So this is known as global warming. You can understand it also, and you can do some of the things to remove it also. So I think students, whatever we have just discussed about transfer of heat, that is clear. So in next classes we will discuss next of the things about another chapter and the conceptual problems and numerical problems related to it. So just end it today here. Rest of the things we will discuss in next class. Thank you, students.